Tired of everyone telling you to find your passion, but no one telling you how? Welcome to the Korean Connection, and I'm your host, Korean, an attorney with a passion for empowering others to use their many talents and skills towards a path of self-discovery and alignment. Join me as I share my personal stories, professional insights, and practical tips, and how you can connect the dots between what you're great at and turning your passions into purpose. Let's connect. Push it to the left, I can't go no more. Make it like no, I'm coming back home. I'm trying to roll on my own. I'ma be the greatest, write my name in the stone. Write my name in the stone. Yeah, I'm coming back home. Yeah, I'm coming back home. Write my name in the stone. Cause I'm coming back home. Cause I'm coming back home. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Korean Connection. On today's episode, I have a very special guest, but the title of this episode is Act Your Age. And I thought this was a great episode to bring on one of my best friends. Her name is Miss Jannine Rowser. She's also an attorney, a mother of 3, and one of my most loyal. When I say ride to die, if I say I have something to do in Timbuktu, she is the friend that's going to be in Timbuktu with me. No lie, she's a ride or die. I love her to death. Thank you. I thought she was a great person to bring on this show today to discuss acting your age. Welcome to the Korean Connection, Jannine.
Thank you so much, Karini. I'm glad to be here.
Now, I have known Jannine for probably over 15 years now.
The better part, yes.
We met in law school, went to Brooklyn Law together.
We did, and she didn't like me.
Now, you know I don't like people. I go off of vibe, okay? And let me just address that statement because you want to get into it off the bat. It's not that I didn't like Jannine, but Jannine doesn't give. Back then, we've all grown, but back then in law school, first of all, she had a whole little clique. She had a little clique of friends that they thought they were like the hot girls on campus.
I don't know about that, but I was in a foursome clique, yes.
And they thought they were the hot girls on campus.
I don't know.
That pause says it all, okay? And you guys didn't give inviting. You guys weren't giving inviting.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But you see, I was older. And when I say older, I was like 25 when I went to law school. But I was older than you guys. And even within that friend group that I had, I was older. So I just was at it. And I had a child already. My son was like probably three the oldest at that time. So I guess my energy was just different. Like I would say hi. But even now, you know me, I'm not like an overly social person.
Yeah, that is true.
So...
Well, you're social, but you have to get to know people. Correct. And they have to be in your circle.
Right. It takes me a while to warm up to people. And at this point, and even kind of back then, like, you got to give me that energy where I know, like, you fucking with me. And then I'll give it back to you. Right. And I wasn't getting that energy from her. She was like, hi. And I was like, all right.
So she explained quite very well that she was like, I'm grown. I got a kid already. I ain't messing with these little young chicks starting off in law school. And that was the energy.
I was there for a purpose. Like it was go to school, have some fun, chit chat with y'all or my friend group at the time and go home. I didn't really hang out.
She didn't plan to have friends and look at us now. See, you can't deny Korean connection.
That is true. But then we worked together and then that's how, you know, it. And then to be fair, because I know me, I'm not like, I'm getting better at that. With age, so acting your age, right? I'm getting better at that, but I'm not necessarily the person that seeks other people out. And I think you did that when we started working at the same job.
Yes.
I remember you came and then because we went to the law school and we didn't talk, like it was just like that one high interaction at law school. There was nothing else.
Right.
But and I worked before she did, a year before you did?
1 year before.
And so once you started working there, like you reached out to me and then it just kind of trickled into and escalated to what it is today.
Yes. Yeah. And so let's even talk about that transition into the workplace because I think it was more important, even though we were at Brooklyn Law School together and there weren't too many Black people that were there. No. For the Black folks that were there, we did, you know, at least our class was very intentional about creating bonds and helping each other, get through the process of law school. And so that was sort of like my experience with my class. You were a year above me, so our interactions are just sort of in passing. And you went there, and that was where I was heading to after I got my offer. Of course, I was going to reach out. Because that's what you're supposed to do.
Like me, I probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't have said anything at all and just saw you in the elevator one day.
Right. And it was three of us that went out of Brooklyn Law School. Denny was the other person that got hired. So three Black people from Brooklyn Law School got hired.
Yes.
And I don't think there was anyone else outside of us three.
Really?
Within your year? I can't speak for your year, but definitely.
Are you just speaking about like the Black people, Black law students who then became?
Well, I know in general, from what I know from our class, was just me and Denny.
Yeah. I don't know how many there. I can think of 2 other people besides myself. So maybe there were 3-4 people tops, including me.
Yeah. Let's talk about that experience. I know it's kind of diving off a little bit, but let's talk about that experience. What was that experience like? Just sort of like being one of the few in the office, or just in general? Because even in law school, we were one of the few.
I was accustomed to it by then. And what I mean, because before I'm new to podcasts, so got on air. I don't know what to call this. So we were kind of just talking about my background. So I primarily grew up in the suburbs of Long Island, and in that community, and back then, this is like the 80s, 90s, it was a predominantly West Indian. Yeah, it was predominantly West Indian neighborhood, Black West Indian neighborhood. And so most of my friends, at least one of their parents was from another country, an island, whether it be Jamaica, Haiti. My mom is from Guyana. St. Vincent. So that was so I grew up just amongst Black faces, and not even knowing at that time like Black Caribbean somewhat culture, but I just thought that's just what everybody did. But anyway, so I go to UConn, which anyone who knows UConn is a predominantly white school, and I go there for college. And so maybe if I didn't go to UConn before I went to like Brooklyn Law School, or before I went to the district attorney's office, it would have been maybe a more shocking experience for me. But because I had gone to UConn, and I was really on the younger side when I went to UConn, I was 16 years old when I went there, and being one of few Black people on the campus, one of few Black people that come from out of state to go to UConn. So I got that shell shock experience of being like the only one in a sea of other people. So I think I got it out of me in those 4 years. So it was easier for me to transition into Brooklyn Law School, which I don't know now, but the demographics then, I would say, were primarily white, and the DA's office as well.
Just to kind of try to loop us back to our friendship, were you intentional at UConn in sort of having Black friends, or, sort of that building that sense of community?
No, you know me. No. Never know. Now is probably the most intentional I've ever been about the people that are around me, if being quite honest. UConn, no. I went to UConn to run track, and that's what I did. And just being on a sports team, and there being other, Black women on the sports team, those were the people I pretty much hung out with for 4 years. But it wasn't like I sought them out. It was just by design. It's just what happened. And in Brooklyn Law School, but then also socially, I think you tend to stick with people or cluster with people that look like you until you're more comfortable to spread out into the, quote unquote unknown. Right. So at law school, I would say Lakeisha, I'm going to send her this episode too. I would say it was Lakeisha, who really befriended me. And then so we became that 4-person group. But I didn't, I'm not the person that seeks people out. And even at the DA's office, no.
Yeah.
No. It's just whoever wants to talk to me, I talk to them.
You see how hard it is to be her friend? Okay, you got to seek her out.
But I don't mean that in an egotistical way. It's just I am not that comfortable putting myself out there.
I know.
Yeah.
But once you are her friend, locked in, okay? She's locked in. And she's a jealous friend, too. She's one of the friends who's that,
I am. She had this I was like, I'm not the first person on this podcast. Okay.
But, so we've known each other for quite some time, and we've gotten older.
Yes.
And we have to come to grips with the fact that we are getting older.
Don't look at them.
Right, we don't look it though. But exactly, I'm not going to ask you your age, obviously. You
Okay.
gave some hints earlier
Yeah,
if
you
anybody
can do the
really want to
math
do the math.
yourself.
But tell us, like, what age do you actually feel you are?
I feel like I'm teeter-tottering on anywhere between, if I had to put a number to it, maybe like 25, 30.
Okay. And why do you feel like you're 25, 30?
Because of the things I think I still like to do. I still like to go to parties, getting less and less now, admittedly, but I still like to do that. I just don't feel, I don't know what you're supposed to feel like. I will say I'm over 40. I don't know what you're supposed to feel like when you get to that age. I definitely don't feel like that. I don't realize like I'm not 25 until I see another 25-year-old person. I'm like, oh, then I'm actually not 25.
Right.
Because they just don't exist to me unless I actually see them.
Right.
And so yeah, it's just I guess the things that I like to do. I like to hang out. I'm in my dilly-dallying era now.
What is a dilly-dallying era that you're in?
I don't know how to really articulate it, because then I Googled like what dilly-dallying actually means, and it means like aimless wandering, and that just sounded so kind of ridiculous. But in essence, like it as a movement,
Yeah.
I just see it as like in my head, like wearing sundresses with an umbrella, and the umbrella's like twirling, and
Yeah.
you're like literally skipping in a park,
Right.
and you're just doing ultra feminine, I guess, things.
And why is that your focus at this stage in your life of just doing ultra feminine? Sounds like what they classify as the soft life or the soft girl type of things. Why is that important to you now?
Because life is hard enough. We
Yeah.
all make decisions. I've made decisions that I wouldn't, sometimes if I'm angry enough, I'm like, you know, why the fuck did I do that?
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is. But I don't want to make it seem like my life has been extremely painful or hard, because it hasn't been. But everyone struggles in their own way.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm tired of struggling. I'm tired of battling, whether it be internally or with other people, because I could be an argumentative person. Like, I am tired of doing that.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, you know, I won't put your whole government out there, but you're quite accomplished. And it took some time and effort and discipline, you know, to get there. You know, like I mentioned, you're an attorney. You've worked for and have been working for this prestigious office, and you hold a very, very high and prestigious title within that office that offers a lot of impact into our community. So, you know, those things aren't small feats. So for you, I could understand why, you know, you grind it out to get to where you are now. You're sort of like at a phase in your life that you just want to enjoy it.
I do want to enjoy it. I just don't want to. I don't want to argue as much as, you know, I have or sometimes am willing to engage in.
I mean, you chose law as a profession. I mean,
I know. I get it. I know. But that is, and I don't argue there every day, all day. But in my personal life, which is more of my own, you know, I guess creation and doing.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I don't want it to be hard. I don't want it to be intolerable, I guess. I don't want to mentally feel like I'm struggling.
Yeah. What do you say about, you know, you're now embracing this new season in your life that is just about being light and happy and doing things that are more surrounded about self-care and what make you feel good and feminine within your life. How is that jiving with the act your age, right? Because now you're at an age that you're expected to be acting a certain type of way. The things that you're now talking about, not, you know, do they jive societal-wise with, you know, the age you are?
Wait, clarify that. Here's a look.
Yeah.
Clarify that
Yeah.
question. Please rephrase. I'm not quite understanding.
I'm happy to rephrase. So, you know, you talk about where you are currently. You're sort of living this sort of, you know, dilly-dally, a little of everything. Wherever my heart desires, I kind of go towards that. And you mentioned that you still do things like, you know, partying and things like that. Have you ever been told, one, to act your age? And where do those activities fall societal-wise on, you know, you acting your age, but still being able to do these things that you're now entering into the season of your life into?
I don't know if anyone, and I know that's not like the essence of your question. I don't know if anyone verbatim has told me to act my age, but it is whether it's helpful comments or the person who's telling me is a friend and they are trying to be helpful. If it's my mother, for example, who is trying to be helpful, or unless it's a hater, because I got a story about a hater. But I think societal norms, and we've spoken about this before, I think societal, and stop me if I'm going off on a tangent, but I think societal norms are shifting for women, women of any age, really. I think those societal norms are shifting. I think the comments that I have gotten, whether they were meant to be helpful or not, or meant to like sting or be negative towards me, I think they come from what society, I think, still in large feels that women past a certain age, like you're reaching an expiration, marker, or there's certain things that you shouldn't be wearing, shorter shorts.
Right.
Maybe your shorts, instead of being mid-thigh or maybe a little upper thigh, they should be hitting you at your knees.
Right.
Maybe you shouldn't go to parties anymore. Maybe you should, I don't know, go to brunch. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with going to brunch, but I'm just saying, like, why do you have to choose? Like, why can't you still do the things that you enjoy, and not have to say, I really can't do those things anymore because society or some of the people in your life are commenting, like, because they won't do it, and that's cool. People live their life however they want to do it. But if you choose to do that, because regardless of your age, then you should be entitled to do that. So whether it's real or perceived, meaning like whether society is actually doing that, and I think society does do that to some extent, or whether it's me growing up in society, so now perceived in my head like I am too old to do X, Y, and Z, I am trying to break out of that a little bit.
Yeah.
Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did. You
Okay.
did. You just answered like what the ideology behind acting your ages. What some of those examples would be, like in terms of how you dress, how you carry yourself, places that you choose now to go. You mentioned this. The person who could be perceived as a hater.
Oh. Now, I don't know this chick from nowhere.
Yeah, so now look, you're a beautiful woman,
Thank
right?
you. I know some of y'all going to zoom on it, just because I would do that.
You're a beautiful woman. I don't care whether they're in Zoom mode or otherwise. I mean, I'd challenge y'all to find a flaw, okay? But you're a beautiful woman. So when you come across people who would be more along the signs of act your age, or to tell you, that's a little bit young, or do you think they're deflecting?
No, I think the people that are in my circle, I think they're truly doing it because, one, they truly feel like that, and I would think they deem it as help. So I don't take it as if they're deflecting.
So people in your circle actively tell you to act your age?
Without saying that, but I don't want to make it seem like it's an everyday, all day thing, but yeah, people are like, oh, like, whether it be my shorts are too short, whether it be women or men, like my shorts are too short, or, the dress, the cleavage is showing a little bit too much. Stuff like that is like, you should, basically what I'm being told is to cover up. You're a certain age, or maybe you're a mom, because I'm sure some of you mothers out there may feel like that too. Like once you have a kid, like you can't do certain things anymore.
And your profession certainly doesn't help that point of view, right? As an attorney, you're sort of supposed to put on this sort of more serious persona. And when they see an attorney, there's an image that sort of pops up. So if you don't align with that, people are like, not expecting that.
Yes.
So how do you deal with those sort of judgment that you get from people?
Maybe that's the thing, right? So maybe people see me in my two worlds, the dichotomy of those two worlds, the professional and then the personal, right? So professional, I don't wear, low-cut tops or short skirts generally. I wear slacks, whatever. But in my personal life, we going to do what it's going to do.
Right.
And I mean, I'm not out there being crazy, but, I'm more relaxed, obviously, in my personal life. But to what you were maybe suggesting, I think that people who see me in those two worlds, I don't know, maybe they feel like I should be, as I get older, merging into more conservative.
Right.
Because they see me in those two worlds.
Right.
Because honestly, the people who only know me in the, I guess the personal Jannine world, where they'll, see me wear whatever. Honestly, now that I think about it, they have never said anything to me.
Right. It's the
Yeah.
people who know you in both worlds.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm walking down the street. I don't think anybody's going to tell me, like, you know, you look like an attorney.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm happy with that because I don't walk around, you know, being an attorney is what I do. It's not who I am.
Right.
So I'm very big on that. So I don't take offense at all. But yeah, and you know, to your point as well, I mean, you look great.
Thank you.
So to have it
This
and
is
not
why I love
flaunt it,
Chris,
guys,
you know?
it's literally
you need
a crime.
Friend like this. You need a friend like. But I know me. You see, let me make sure. Okay, I know me. I am any relation, friendship, romantic. I need to be coddled. Like I need that energy because I just am an emotional person. Not for everyone. Like, you know, if we're like that, you know that I'm an emotional person. So I like my friends and romantic interests, I like to be coddled, and she does that for me.
By coddled, she means tell her that she's a bad bitch, because she is.
No, but like be sensitive and talk to me nice.
Yeah, yes. You do like that.
I do like
when
that.
you talk to you nice.
I do.
And you make it so easy, honestly, because, I mean, what is there to complain about? What is there not to like?
There's people who don't like me, but it's fine.
I mean, I guess we all have somebody that's going to find something that they don't like about any of us. But, you know, to your point, you know, you look great.
Thank you.
So once you look great and, you know, you're also very active in terms of like, you know, your health. So you work out a lot. So in you doing all of that, why not show it? Why should you have to like hide all of that behind a long frock?
That is my point exactly. I mean, that is my point exactly because, you know, again, I have friends of all different ages, and shout out to my friends that are older than me because I think every woman should have like an age gap friendship because it shows you like what life will be like when you get to whatever age they are. And you learn things that you, at least for me, like I wouldn't feel comfortable talking to my mother about, or maybe she wouldn't feel comfortable talking to me about. So I see and I learn a lot from them. So shout out to them.
Yeah. You know, I know that you are very disciplined about your workouts and keeping your body in shape. And you're very conscious about, you know, when you gain weight, you know, when you're feeling your best self, when you need to lose weight. And you do. Like I watch you put on 10 pounds, drop 10 pounds.
I know.
All the pounds look good on you, to be quite honest. I tell you all the time. Because, you know, she's one of those annoying people that the pounds goes in the area where we want it to go, but it don't go, but it goes there for her and she complains. So you do exercise and you make yourself, and you're also very good at preserving, you know, at self-care.
Yes.
So talk to us about that. Like, why is that so important for you?
So starting with the exercise, that's something that's internal. That's, to some level, it is purposeful now because I'm older. But I have been active since I was a little girl. I would say I was on the tomboyish side. So whole point is like I've always been active. I ran track through high school as a kid, high school through college. So that vigorous, intense type of working out, that's just what I'm accustomed to.
Yeah.
So if my heart is not beating at 180, you know, beats per minute, I don't feel like, and my shirt is fully drenched in sweat, I just don't feel like I worked out, right?
She's the friend that tells me to lift heavier. You got to do the squats. You didn't do that squat right when you showed it online.
And she tried to play one of my workouts. I was like, all right, chick, let's see. But yeah, so that's something that is just ingrained in me because I've just been doing it for as long as I can remember. I like being active. I like activities.
And self-care as well.
Yes, but that really became a thing for me. I would say like when I was in my mid-30s and I don't know, just going through relationship stuff, having 3 kids at that time. And I just didn't really like the way that I looked. Like, I mean, I didn't think I was ugly or unattractive, but I just didn't feel like myself anymore. Now I felt like I was, maybe at that point, I felt like I was becoming, I don't know, an older woman. I don't know how else to describe it. And to have a little bit of TMI, at one point I started taking birth control. And so it started, like hormonal birth control, so it started making my face break out. So I had to find a dermatologist because I didn't feel like I looked my best. In fact, my father told me I look homely a couple of times.
Homely?
He did.
Caribbean parents?
Yes. No, my father, this is Southern Alabama. No, this wasn't the Caribbean parent. But yeah, so my face was breaking out and I just wanted to clear that up. So I eventually found a dermatologist, and the dermatologist, she put me on tretinoin and spironolactone to, I guess, just break up the progestin. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. And whatever was causing the acne on my face. And like I said, that was mid-30s, so I've been using that for some years now. And a very good friend of mine, who we too went to law school with, I remember I started using it, and probably the first time she had seen me, like, since I had started using it, this is back then, and she told me that I looked like I had a whole bunch of dead skin removed from my face. I was like, you bitch.
I mean, well, you know what? I mean, but like real talk though, it gets to a point though in your growth where you feel like you have to shed all the dead skin, from like, you have to you really do lose a huge chunk of who you are when you become a mom.
Yes, you do.
And it takes a toll.
You do.
And you have to use some intentionality in reclaiming who you are and get your sense of individuality back, because that can get so lost.
And before we continue on to skincare conversation, just talking about being a mom and relating it to the topic, it's, I'm not the like my parents are boomers. I am not the version of what the boomers would be at my age. And I'm talking specifically just look-wise, right? I don't look like how my mom looked at my age. I think she and a lot of women in that era, not everybody, obviously, but a lot of women that era, and men too, it's probably not the right word, but kind of succumb to what you had to do to be a mother, succumb to societal pressures. Because after a certain age, I'm a mother, I put on some weight, and that's kind of what life was.
Right.
I can say for me, I was like, absolutely not.
Right.
Like that, absolutely not. So while I obviously I think it goes without saying, I love and adore my children, they have, and it is what it is, they have never been the center of me. So I've always, and I've always separated myself from my kids. When it's time to be a mom, we do that. And I'm a very active mom. So like we're going to the track, we're running the bleachers, like we're doing stuff like that. So I think that's another thing. But some people would be critical of that, right? Because that's how at least my parents were raised, where you're kids and you do everything for your kids. And I do a lot of things for my kids. But I don't make my kids the center of everything that I do. I go on my separate vacations.
Yes.
I am a mom, but I'm also very much Jannine. And those two people are a lot of times separate people. So I think that's another thing with like acting your age, and women can get criticism for that, because you just want to do it differently. Now than maybe my parents did it for me.
Yeah.
And then there's some guilt, because there could be some guilt tripping with that. Like you're worried about your kids, you're being selfish. And I don't find that selfish at all.
Right.
I think they get to see me be me. Like actually know me as a human being and not just their mother.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand this concept of once you have children, your life ends and you just sort of like follow theirs, right? Like you just, you stop, doing the things to make you feel good. You stop, doing the skincare routine at night. You stop being mindful about your waistline spreading. You just stop being a person.
I tell anybody who knows me, I would highly recommend this, because I'm all about my Black people. So I highly recommend this for any Black women specifically. I always say exercise, because ain't no man. And people can be whatever weight they want to be. I'm talking about for me. And for you too, if you believe what I believe.
Right.
Don't let no man and no kids make you fat.
Right.
Because that ain't never going to happen. Never. Because when this ends, I'm walking out looking the same way I came into it. Secondly, skincare. So we'll go back to that. Having a dermatologist on deck, and therapy. I think those are three things that are essential to your survival.
So Jannine, with all this intentional talks that you have about being mindful about, your weight and, how you look through relationships or whatever life circumstances, can you tell us some of your routines of what you do to keep this young and fresh?
Well, I exercise, and I would recommend, because that's just what I know, some form of vigorous exercise, obviously not every day, but that also helps with your skin, in my opinion, and drinking loads of water. I can't say that I have gotten into that routine where like I drink nothing but water, but obviously that's key. I go to a dermatologist at least, I don't know, maybe once a month, once every 2 months, I would say. And that's just to keep up like with the tretinoin and the spironolactone, because my face, if I did stop, my face would break out. I am kind of neurotic about like the skincare products that I buy, like literally neurotic. I have tried a lot of stuff. So I try like retinol creams. I am a proponent of vitamin C. And I'll tell you the brands that I like Clarins, Double Serum, Sanita Skincare. What else do I use? God, I wish you told me. I would have literally wrote a list of
So
stuff.
guys, I say all of this, that whatever she say, write it down, because she has no makeup on. Okay?
Well, I have moisture. I have tinted because I know some of y'all gonna hit the Zoom. So I got. Oh, sorry. I know some of y'all gonna, because I would do that. I know the Zoom. So I have on tinted moisturizer. I do have on tinted moisturizer. I do have on lip gloss. I do have on eyeliner.
No makeup. Okay? That's basically, that translates to like no makeup to me, okay? But those things can be very costly.
They are costly.
So how do you manage that?
I just pay it.
Can you give us like a ball? You just pay it. Just give us like a ballpark estimate of like the monthly cost as it relates to upkeep, and that includes like your gym membership too. Like, what does it cost to defy age?
Because I buy miscellaneous, stuff. So I would say if I'm averaging it out, $400 a month, maybe like $500 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even though that sounds like very staggering.
And that's including the gym.
Yeah.
Because I go to like a very shishu, because I am just like that.
Yeah. The gym.
Yes.
So some people that might be, like just $500 a month on just beauty products. But really and truly, when you really think about it, us as Black, especially Black women, are probably spending that on beauty products anyway, with less like the hair products and like the makeup and like, the wigs. And
I'm a rogue member at Sephora. And I don't even, like you said, like I wear light makeup. I'll say that. I wear light makeup. But I am in Sephora and on the app, like, you don't know how many lip glosses I've bought or blushes that I've bought. So some of the stuff is unnecessary because, like I said, I am neurotic about it. I am always like, oh, this skincare alleges to do that. Let me get it. I'm a big fan of Kiehl's. Their toner, and they have an avocado eye cream that's really good. Trying to run through all the products that I use. Yeah, I wish I brought a list. But those are pretty much my go-to every day, or like a face oil by Clarins. Those are all the things I go, or a setting spray that gives you like this glassy skin effect. I use that. So I just kind of pack on the minimal stuff that I pack on.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I lay my edges down and I'm good.
You kind of touched on this a little bit before, about, Gen X versus, there's like these memes going around that talking about how, girlies now that are in their 40s, late 40s and 50s are looking so much better than millennials. And, what do you have to say about that? What do you think the root cause of that is?
That why people are hating on Gen X?
Well, I don't know if they're hating. They're saying that you guys are looking much better and younger than like these young 25 girls that
who's
are
saying
here.
That though? Who's saying? No, I know that people say it, but what gender is? But what gender?
I don't know. Look around. I mean, these young girls are not doing the things. They are not doing the upkeep. They're not. These women in their 40s are giving them stiff competition. So, like, what do you think might be the cause of that? Or you don't agree? You don't have to agree.
No, so I do think. Well, I'm Gen X, so of course I'm going to agree. I'm not going to say Gen X is not doing that. But I think, and I don't. I this is just what I think. I don't have any data to back this up. But I think Gen X grew up in a time where you had to work for what you had. And what I mean by, and I'm talking about strictly the physical attributes, there wasn't any quick fixes, right?
Yeah.
If you wanted to be toned or have muscle or whatever it is you wanted, like you actively had to get up and go do those things.
Yeah.
So because maybe the use of other alternatives to the gym or eating better or whatever. And I know
plastic surgery.
Right. And I'm just generally, speaking, because I know that's not always the case for everybody. It could be medically needed, et cetera, and so on. So, but I just think that generations now, the effort that Gen X or even boomers had to put in, I don't think they have to do that necessarily. Not if they don't want to. And a lot of them do. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. A lot of them do, but some don't want to.
Yeah.
And I think there are alternatives to having to put in that work, let's say in the gym, since we're talking about the physicality of it. There's just other alternatives to that. Plus,
are you a proponent of those alternatives?
I am.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah. So you think the girlies should be getting into the Botox and they should be doing all the nips and the tucks?
I do. I feel like you pushing me. So she's pushing me. So I will say, because she's pushing me, because we were talking about skincare, I don't do it. I would say twice. I have gotten Botox, like I don't know how many units, but like in my forehead. I've done that. So obviously I am a proponent. Like I jokingly say, like I'm gonna freeze my face. Like this is how I'm gonna be when I'm 80. And so when I do get to the point like where I feel, and now both me doing that was again me being neurotic, right?
Yeah.
But when I get to whatever point in life where I see defined wrinkles, I see whatever, yeah, I'm gonna be Botoxing it up. I'm gonna be filling it up.
Yeah, and
I'm gonna be Madonna. Like I am doing it.
Just ageless and timeless.
Yeah, I don't because I don't. Why not? I don't. Yeah. Don't do it if you don't want to, but I'm not gonna poo-poo on anybody else that does want to do it.
So as we wrap up the episode, what is your final thoughts on acting your age and doing the things that make you feel good in the season you're in? What is your final thought for our audience?
I think it's just basically what you say. Do good. Do what makes you feel good. Don't let people define what your life should be for you.
Yes.
Don't look at, and I am still struggling with not looking at age as if it's problematic, getting older as if it's problematic. That is still a struggle for me. But I know I need to get out of that mindset. One, because it's not a good mindset to be in. I don't think it gets you anywhere because if you're alive, you are going to get older. Like there's no stopping that. So take care of yourself. To all the people who are younger than 40 and you're still in your 20s, 30s, if you hear this, take care of yourself. Get out there and exercise. Whatever taking care of yourself looks like, go ahead and do that. But I'm no longer, I hope, going to let my own internal feelings or whatever I see or believe is happening, my perception of what I think is happening in society, control how I want to be and how I want and what I want to look like as I get older in life. And hopefully I'll be back when I'm 80 and I look the exact same way.
And she will look the exact same way, okay? And with that, thank you so much for joining us on the Korean Connection.
Thank you for
It was very
having me.
nice to have you to talk about acting your age, which you certainly do not.
No, I'm 25.
And I love that for you. Join us next time on the Korean Connection. And remember, guys, that in connecting your passion to purpose, you actually need to be there for that. You need to be self-preserve. So definitely don't fall into societal pressures of acting your age. Do what makes you feel good and continue to connect those passions to purpose with us and join us on the next episode of the Korean Connection. Let's connect. Thank you guys for connecting with me today. Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe to my channel, The Korean Connection. To connect with me, you can email me at thekoreanconnection@gmail.com. And don't forget that sometimes your passion whispers before it roars. And if you're listening closely, the next episode might be where it gets louder. Let's connect.
Push it to the limit,